तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः.
Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhui Grunantiye Bhurida Jana. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and as per the English version, today we start the second volume. The date is Friday, September 19, 1884. Previous was September 14. Now we have come to September 19. And chapter is 28. Heading is at the Star Theatre. But we are not starting with the Star Theatre. A long time we shall spend at Dakshineshwar. Then go to Star Theatre. So, we start. It was Mahalaya, a sacred day of the Hindus and the day of the new moon. Let me explain this. Mahalaya is the name current in West Bengal mainly and maybe surrounding areas. In other places, this is called Sarvapitra Amavasya, New Moon Day. It is the end of the lunar Bhadra month. And in the Bhadra month, especially the second part of Bhadra, from Purnima onwards, all the days are reserved for Shraddha or Tarpan in honor of the forefathers who have passed away. And suppose somebody has passed away on Tritiya, either Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, in any year, but Tritiya of this Krishna Paksha of the Bhadra, on that day, his Shraddha should be done. That is the method. Now, on the Amavasya, all the Shraddhas of all the people is done normally. So, Sarva Pitri Amavasya, all forefathers, new moon day. Now, Mahalaya, Alaya. Alaya means dissolution of everything. So perhaps on the last day of the Bhadrapad, everything has dissolved. And because new moon, new start of the year is from Ashwin. It is not the Bengali New Year, but Ashwin is the, in most of the calculations, when we calculate the nakshatra, the 27 or 28 constellation along the orbit of the sun, the first is Ashwin, Ashwini. So that is a new start. So the previous night is the night of dissolution. That is how the name Mahalaya has come. Now, the previous fortnight is taken to be most unholy. And then this fortnight is Devi Paksha, the holiest fortnight. And that some people take from Amavasya itself. Otherwise, Amavasya to be called a holy day again is only in Bengal where Kali Puja is more famous. In other places, some people avoid doing anything on Amavasya. So the customs are different in different parts of India. But here it is mentioned as the holy. So during Navaratri, which follows, people study, recite, chant, read out the Durga Saptashati every day. And this custom also starts from Mahalaya itself. Mahalaya to the end of Navaratri, every day somebody in the Durga Mandap chants the Durga Saptashati reading. So all these things is Mahalaya. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room with Mahendra Mukherjee, Priya Mukherjee. We have read again and again of the Mukherjee brothers. So these are the two names. Mahendra Mukherjee, Priya Mukherjee. M. Baburam, Harish, Kishori and Latu. This Kishori, two people's name is Kishori. And Master Masha is not mentioning. Kishorji was the younger brother of Master Masha. But Kishori was the name of Master Masha's brother-in-law also. And somewhere we find that he is more dear to Sri Ramakrishna. So he may be that Kishori. And Latu. Some were sitting on the floor, some standing, and others moving about. So there was no formal meeting like. Hadra was sitting on the porch. Rakhal was still at Vrindavan with Balaram. Rakhal is mentioned again and again because Rakhal used to stay with the master. He was not staying with his father. But here, let me tell you something which we will find out if we closely follow Sri Ramakrishna's life. Rakhal in the beginning was behaving with the master as if he is a small child. And that childish jealousy had come into him. If Sri Ramakrishna showed his love for somebody else, he would not like it. Now that was detrimental to him, as well as new people could not come to Sri Ramakrishna that freely. So Thakur prayed to the Divine Mother, please keep Rakhal a little away for some time. And that is what happened. Balaram requested Rakhal to go with him to Vrindavan. And Rakhal was fond of Vrindavan, so he went. And he became sick there. That worried Sri Ramakrishna. But he came back all right. Now we also find that Narendra was very much worried because of the lawsuit instituted by his enemies, his close relatives, who had been living on the kindness of his father. But after his father's passing away, they instituted lawsuits claiming the best part of the house. And for some days, Narendra and his mother and sister, brothers, they had to stay in other place. So, Narendra was never possessive or jealous. But Thakur's side we see, Thakur used to spend most of the time with Narendra. So it was arranged by providence that Rakhal is not there, Narendra is not so frequent. At that time, many young disciples started coming and spending time with Sri Ramakrishna. So that is how God arranges everything. It is not mentioned in the gospel, but I have gathered from other sources, and so I am telling this. And that is still continuing. Master, to the devotees. Now, this portion is Thakur had a devotee who Thakur used to call him captain. He was the agent, political agent of Nepal government to India. And as Calcutta was the capital at that time, he was living in Calcutta. And this, he became very much devoted to, attached to Sri Ramakrishna. And we shall find Thakur is praising him like anything. So God, if he finds some devotee specially suited for bhakti, he would praise him. Now he was praising him behind his back. Because generally, if somebody praises somebody on his face, he may become egoistic. Their exception was Narendranath. Thakur used to praise Narendranath on his face, but Narendra would take Thakur is just talking. He would never be affected by that praise. Knowing this, Thakur did it in his presence. But here we do not find the captain present, and Thakur is praising him. Thakur's praising any person means showing the spiritual merits which he has. That is the meaning of praising. So that other people will try to get those merits or will become appreciative of that person also. Master, to the devotees, I was at Captain's house in Calcutta. He was. It was very late when I returned. What a sweet nature Captain has. What devotion. He performs the arati before the image in his house. Another thing, if somebody appreciates Thakur, it means he appreciates spirituality. But that is not the only thing taken by Thakur to praise him. His general devotion to God is the matter of praise. He performed the arati before the image. First, he waves a lamp with 3 lights. Some particular method of arati which the captain is following. Then a lamp with 1 light. And last of all, he waves burning camphor. In the tantric method, as we see in Belur Math, the 5 wicks are there. That lamp is first of all waved and then camphor is waved. But here we find 3 stages. 3 lights, single light, then camphor. When performing the worship, he does not speak. Worship, not only arati. Arati is at the conclusion of the worship. So some people worship and go on chatting, talking. He does not do that. Once he motioned me to take my seat. That means Thakur has gone to his house when he was doing puja. So he would not talk at that time. He motioned his hand to please take your seat, so that after the puja he will talk with him. During the worship, his eyes become swollen from spiritual emotion. So it is not any physical disease which causes the eyes to be swollen, but spiritual feeling is so intense that it makes the eyes burn. They look as if they have been stung by wasps. He cannot sing, but he chants hymns beautifully. So chanting by very good voice and very good rhyme and reason. In his mother's presence, he sits on a lower level, she sits on a high stool. So this is another thing which is a matter of praise of Sri Ramakrishna, that generally when the mothers become old, they are not well looked after, they are not shown the due respect. But in Captain's house, Thakur has seen that he makes his mother sit on a higher pedestal and himself sits on a lower pedestal. So the respect for mother is one of the spiritual qualities which the captain has. He sits on a lower level, she sits on a high stool. Now, some qualities have come to him as if hereditary. So, Thakur is praising his father also. His father was a Havildar in the English army. Havildar is a particular military post. He would hold a gun with one hand and with the other worship Shiva. Now, Shiva normally cannot be worshipped by the left hand, so he might be holding the gun in the left hand and by the right hand does the Shiva worship. His servant, now father servant or captain servant, it is about the father, continuation. His servant, that means his father was a Havildar. He has a servant. His servant made a clay image of Shiva for him. He wouldn't even touch water before performing the worship. That is, some people take this vow like that they do not take food or even water before they worship. He earned 6,000 rupees a year. That is 500 rupees per month. So this money will not have any meaning in our mind. We should find out. I think 100 may be the figure. That 100 times of that you should feel now. 500 hundreds. That means 50,000 might have been the salary. Even that is not so much this year. Captain, now that much about his father, we come back to Captain. Captain sends his mother to Benares now and then. People like to live in Benares, spiritually minded people. And he sends his mother there. 12 or 13 servants attend her there. 12 or 13 servants, so paid by the captain. It is very expensive. Captain knows the Vedanta, the Gita, and the Bhagavata by heart. Now, if Vedanta means Upanishads, then how many Upanishads he knew by heart? Vedanta Gita Bhagavad Captain Kantastha. Okay, so some Upanishads we can take, and Gita and Bhagavad, big volume. So by practice one can memorize this, though they are very big text. In the ancient India, the Vedas were memorized, remembered only, they were never written even, but that requires great strength of mind, great concentration of the mind. He says that the educated gentlemen of Calcutta follow the ways of the Mlecchas. Mlecchas means non-Indians, the Mohammedans or the British, and by imitating them, the Hindus have become polluted. In his earlier years, he practiced Hatha Yoga. So the yogic methods also he knows. That is why he strokes my head gently when I am in Samadhi. So he knows how man can come back from Samadhi or remain in Samadhi without much disturbance. So that he does. His wife worships the deity in another form, that of Gopal. This is something special of India. The husband does not force his views on the wife in matters of religion. And in the same house, father, mother, children may have different deities. So this is a glory of Indian culture. Nepal is nothing but India. That of Gopala. Gopala usually means child Krishna. This time I didn't find her so miserly. Remember, once Thakur asked captain for that horse carriage rent, and he told his wife, and wife said, what? And it was not given. So Thakur is telling, now she is not that miserly. This is the working of the spiritual life. She too knows the Gita and other scriptures. What devotion they have. Now they were Shaktas, definitely, Shakti worshippers. They cooked a great curry. Goat curry. They cooked a goat curry. Captain said they could eat it for 15 days, perhaps one full goat. But she said, no, only 7 days. So Thakur is showing that she is not so miserly now, where Captain hoped something to go for 15 days. She said, no, only 7 days. But I like the taste of it. So Sri Ramakrishna openly is telling that he liked the taste of it. Now in translations of other languages, Marathi, Hindi, it might have been suppressed. I told you the reason sometime in the beginning that the people in Maharashtra, they may eat anything, but they do not expect the spiritual people to eat non-vegetarian food. And so, by their ignorance, they might feel an abhorrent feeling just at the mention of this, and they would miss the such towering personalities. And that is why the editors or publishers suppressed it for some time. They serve a very small quantity of each dish. Now that is maybe a sign of motherliness, may not be. Because the Maharashtra custom is to serve small quantities of all the dishes. The reason is that if what you like or do not like is not known, and then by the small quantities, it is the menu not on the card, menu practical. So the thing which you like will call more. So, but Thakur is taking it, or it might have been a sign of miserliness. But nowadays, his theme is same, that she is not so miserly now. But nowadays, they give me good portions since I eat more than they do. Thakur eating more than the captain and his wife. After the meal, either captain or his wife fans me. So all this shows their great honor for Thakur. No, Thakur will tell in the next line, it is for sadhus. They are very pious souls and show great respect to holy men. The people of Upper India, we got this second time, na? And I thought, huh. So Upper India. What is Upper India? What is Upper India? In India, there is something up and down. In the maps are drawn, north keeping the upper and south the lower. And that is why in the map, if it is above, it is called Upper India. Otherwise, it has no meaning. And in Bengali, that expression is not there. So I thought, how Thakur will call Upper India. Thakur is not calling Upper India. He might not be aware even of the maps. Thakur calls it Paschime, in the west. Now west of Bengal. And west of Bengal may include Bihar, may mean UP, may mean Punjab, and here we shall find it is in reference to Nepal also. So Upper India, west of Bengal, including, I would say, Nepal. About that Thakur is talking. The people of west than Bengal are greatly devoted to sadhus. Even today, if you find the sadhus, maybe from Punjab or maybe from anywhere else, say they are in Rishikesh or some such places, if they feel the need, if they want to build up a kutia, if they find need of something, there is a current saying that he should go to Punjab for some days and come back. So the Punjabis have a habit of helping the sadhus. So here Thakur tells Paschim, and the context is Nepal. the sons and nephews of the Jang Bahadur of Nepal. Jang Bahadur, the ruler, once visited the temple garden. Before me, they showed great respect and humility. Once, a young girl of Nepal came to see me with captain. She was a great devotee and unmarried. She knew the whole of the Gita Govinda by heart. Dwarika Babu, Mathuro's son. Dwarika Babu and the others wanted to hear her music. When she sang the Gita Govinda, Dwarika Babu was profoundly moved and wiped the tears from his eyes with his handkerchief. She was asked why she was not married. She said, I am the handmaid of God. Whom else shall I serve? Her people respect her as a goddess, as the scriptures enjoin. Scriptures enjoin woman to be respected as goddess. But not every woman is respected like that. To Mahendra Mukherjee and the others. So this topic of Thakur praising captain, his wife, the Nepali people in general is over. Now, Thakur is now talking of some other subject. I shall feel very happy to know that you are being benefited by your visits here. So, visit to Thakur should result in spiritual benefit. Only for gossiping or only formality, one does not visit Sri Ramakrishna. To him, why do people come here? I don't know much of reading and writing, so I'm not a scholar giving lectures. So what is the element which attracts people? Thakur is asking Master Macha so that the correct judgment should come out, or Thakur will correct it. M. God's power is in you. That is why there is such power of attraction. It is the divine spirit that attracts. Master, yes. This is the attraction of Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya means combination of three gunas is Yoga Maya. But special power of God which attracts people is called Yoga Maya. The divine Shakti, she casts the spell. God performs all his Leela through the help of Yoga Maya. So it is the Maya Shakti called Yoga Maya because combination of the three gunas. So from this, he shifts to love of gopis. The love of gopis was like the attachment of a woman to her paramour. So they had their husbands. And they are loving Krishna as husband. So that becomes loving as paramour. And that is a greater attraction than that of husband. That Thakur will explain now. They were intoxicated while with ecstatic love for Sri Krishna. A woman cherishing illicit love is not very keen about her own husband. If she is told that her husband has come, Thakur's descriptions are practical. She will say, what if there is food in the kitchen, he can help himself. But if she is told of the arrival of a stranger, jovial, handsome, and witty, she will run to see him and peep at him from behind the screen. Because in those days, the ladies did not openly go to the men's quarters, but she would go up to a point possible, and from screen she could see. You may raise an objection and say, now a common question asked by people, we have not seen God. How can we feel attracted to him as the gopis felt attracted to Krishna? Now Krishna is the incarnation, gopis were directly having him, so they felt attracted. How can we? As the gopis felt attracted to Krishna, but it is possible. I do not know him. Thakur is telling the example. I do not know him. I have only heard his name, and that has fixed my mind upon him. So actually, this question or doubt is wrong. I told sometimes that in Puranas and in poetry, historical poetry, two examples we can see. Rukmini had not seen Krishna, but Krishna's qualities of character were sung by the singers, and listening to them, Rukmini had total attraction for Krishna. In the historical age, Jayachand was very jealous of Prithvi Raj, two Rajput chieftains. And Jayachand's daughter, Sanyogita, had heard about Prithvi Raj and she fell in love with him. So it is not necessary to see. By hearing descriptions, one can love. So now, devotee, what is the significance of Shri Krishna's stealing the gopis' clothes? Because gopis reference has come. So in the episode of the gopis, there is an episode called Vastraharan. Gopis were bathing in Yamuna. The clothes were on the bank. Krishna came, stole away all the clothes and sat upon a tree behind the leaves. So gopis did not find their clothes when they finished the bath. And they saw Krishna sitting on the top of the tree with all the clothes with him. So they requested him. They had to come out of water as naked, but to save their shame as much as they can, they covered the lower portion with their hats. And Krishna told them, you have committed a mistake by entering the Yamuna naked. So you bow down to me. And a real bow down is with the hands held at the head. So in this way, he made them completely free from any idea of shame. That was the story. So Thakur will reply like that. Sir, what is the significance of Sri Krishna stealing the gopis' clothes? Master, there are 8 fetters that bind a person to the world. Lajja, Gruna, Bhay, Man, Abhiman, Kul, Shil, etc. The gopis were free from all but one, shame. Therefore, Krishna freed them from that one too by taking away their clothes. On attaining God, one gets rid of all fetters. To Mahendra Mukherjee and the others, by no means all people feel attracted to God. Now, discrimination or some facts he starts telling. There are special souls who feel so. To love God, one must be born with good tendencies. Otherwise, why should you alone of all people of Bagh Bazar come here? He's telling the Mukherjees. You can't expect anything good in a dunghill. So you can't expect anything from me in the material sense. The touch of the Himalaya breeze turns all trees into sandalwood, no doubt. But there are a few exceptions. The banyan, the cotton tree, and the ashwatha, for example. For example, there might have been some more trees also, bamboo and all that is described. So this is one thing. Now, different thing, but similar, is that those people only love God who are not sinners, who are virtuous people. To the Mukherjee brothers, you are well off, he is showing this, huh? You are well off if a man slips from the path of yoga, then he is reborn in a prosperous family and starts again his spiritual practice for the realization of God. Okay. Mahendra, why does one slip from the path of yoga? Master, while thinking of God, the aspirant may feel a craving for material enjoyment. It is this craving that makes him slip from the path. So, enjoyment is the enemy of spiritual life till the end. In his next life, he will be born with the spiritual tendencies that he failed to translate into action in his present life. So he had earned spirituality that does not go. He might have been tempted, so he spent some time in that. So next birth, when he comes of age, then the good tendencies will come upon him. Mahendra, then what is the way? Master, no salvation is possible for a man so long as he has desire, so long as he hankers for worldly things. Therefore, fulfill all your desires regarding food, clothes, and sex. So, Thakur is very clear on this point. Smiling. What do you say about the last one? Legitimate or illegitimate? M and Mahendra laugh. So, no reply to that. They take it as a joke. It is not good to cherish desires and hankerings, which made him deviate from the path. For that reason, I used to fulfill whatever desires come to my mind. Thakur did it. If we try to do, we may fall in the trap. But Thakur has prescribed that if you feel some desire keenly, fulfill it with discrimination, then that will not come again. It is not to good cherish desires and handerings. For that reason, I used to fulfill whatever desires came to my mind. So in Thakur's case, the desires may drag him down, but he could just fulfill it and throw away. Once I saw some colored sweetmeats in Barabazar and wanted to eat them. They brought me the sweets and I ate a great many. The result was that I fell ill. Thakur is telling this will be the result if you enjoy. But that will withdraw your mind from that enjoyment. In my boyhood days, while bathing in the Ganges, I saw a boy with gold ornament around his waist. During my state of divine intoxication, I felt a desire to have a similar ornament myself. I was given one by Mathur Babu, but I couldn't keep it on very long. So all desires are not like same. Huh? When I put it on, I felt within my body the painful uprush of a current of air. It was because I had touched gold to my skin. I wore the ornament a few moments and then had to put it aside. Otherwise, I should have had to tear it off. So had I not put it on, then they would not have come out and I would have to tear it off. I once felt a desire to eat the famous sweetmeats of different cities. All laugh. You know how this was cured? Bhairav Brahmani put so many sweets in a room and you live here. And that reduced it. I had a desire to hear Shambhu's musical recital of the Chandi. Now shifting his desires, huh? Desires spiritual. After fulfilling that desire, I wanted to hear the same thing by Raj Narayan. Raj Narayan was a very famous singer for Chandi. That desire also was satisfied. At that time, many holy men used to visit the temple garden. A desire arose. Now see, desire levels. A desire arose in my mind that there should be a separate storeroom to supply them with their provisions. Mathur Babu arranged for one. The sadhus were given foodstuffs, fuel and the like from that storeroom. Once the idea came to me to put on a very expensive robe embroidered with gold and to smoke a silver hubble bubble. So different type of desires. Huh? Mathur Babu sent me the new robe and the hubble bubble. I put on the robe. I also smoked the hubble bubble in various fashion. Huh? Sometimes I smoked it reclining this way and sometimes that way, sometimes with head up and sometimes with head down. Then I said to myself, oh mind, this is what they call smoking a silver hubble bubble. Immediately I renounced it. So that is Thakur's method. Discriminate while enjoying. I kept the robe on my body a few minutes longer and then took it off. I began to trample it underfoot and spit on it, saying, so this is an expensive robe, but it only increases man's rajas. So everywhere, strong discrimination is accompanied, and so see what happens. So this topic is over now. Huh? Master describing his own desires for enjoyment in reply to, apparently, Mukherjee's query that why does one fall down from that high state? It is due to desires. Rakhal had been staying at Vrindavan with Balaram. At first, he had written excited letters praising the holy place. He had written to them, "It is the best of all places. Please come here. The peacocks dance around, and one always hears and sees religious music and dancing. There is an unending flow of divine bliss." But then Rakhal had been laid up with an attack of fever. Sri Ramakrishna was very much worried about him and vowed to worship the Divine Mother for his recovery. So he began to talk about Rakhal. Master, Rakhal had his first religious ecstasy while sitting here, massaging my feet. So due to touch of Thakur's spirituality. A Bhagavata scholar had been expounding the sacred book in the room. So maybe due to that also. As Rakhal listened to his words, he shuddered every now and then. Then he became altogether still. So the kampan comes as a spiritual experience. And then stop. His second ecstasy was at Balram Bose's house. In that state, he could not keep himself sitting upright. He lay flat on the floor. Rakhal belongs to the realm of the personal God. He leaves the place if one talks about the impersonal. So, choice. But his name became Brahmananda. He had Nirvikal Samadhi at Omkareshwar for 8 days. That is, Thakur made all the Saguna worshippers to Nirgun, Nirguna worshippers to Sagun, because he wanted to leave behind him a set of people where sadhakas of all shades could get guidance and satisfaction. So we say Acharyanam Acharya. I have taken a vow to worship the Divine Mother when he recovers. You see, he has why? You see, he has renounced his home and relatives and completely surrendered himself to me as God. It was I who sent him to his wife now and then, because some desire may be lingering, it should be off. He still had a little desire for enjoyment, had. Pointing to him, Rakhal has written him from Vrindavan that it is a grand place, the peacocks dance around. Now let the peacocks take care of him. He has really put me in a fix, worried about him. Rakhal has been staying with Balaram at Vrindavan. Now his attention shifts to Balaram, great devotee, householder. Ah, what a nice nature Balaram has. It is only for my sake that he doesn't go to Orissa. He lived in Cuttack, where his family owns an estate. Other places also, Kothar. His brother stopped his monthly allowance and wrote to him, "Come and stay with us here. Why should you waste so much money in Calcutta?" Jagannath Puri also is in Orissa. He stayed there. But he didn't listen. He has been living in Calcutta because he wants to see me. What devotion to God! He is busy day and night with his worship. His gardener is always making garlands of flowers for the deity. He has decided to spend 4 months a year at Vrindavan to reduce his expenses. Vrindavan is a cheaper place, so that he could live with Thakur for a longer time. He gets a monthly allowance of 200 rupees. So within that, he has to manage. So sometime we should spend with little expenses. Why I'm so fond of the youngsters? So another topic now. They are still untouched by woman and God. I find that they belong to the class of the Nitya Siddhas, the ever perfect. We shall take up this portion on Tuesday. Monday being the May Day, we have holiday. Om Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiredhitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadaatatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.